Hey boy, today playing Toy Blast again. So last time I played, I completed level 487, I think. Yeah, because last time I was struggling with that level where the cannon was in the hard place, and I only had to get the 6 beach pearls. And then I played another level after that that were found much easier, yes. So let's get on to 488, shall we? Yes, let's get started. Let's go. So, this is quite interesting looking, isn't it? All the ice cubes in the middle and pumpkins trapped in cages, ready to be sculpted by our gifted hands. Or should I say by our skilled problem-solving guy. Since that's the nature of solving puzzles, isn't it? Problem-solving. That's what logic dictates, isn't it, eh, baby dolls? And it's kind of hard to follow logic, isn't it? Starting to run out of moves to make now, aren't I? Oh, and look how startlingly low on moves I'm getting as well already. I was just talking about the limited availability of actual moves to make on the board, since hardly any boxes of the same colours are next to each other, but I wasn't aware how low they were getting here as well. Very startling indeed, baby dolls. I suppose I waited a bit too long to use that Rubik's Cube as well, didn't I? Yes, not a very good start for the video, but I will do better. Next time. Well, should I say this time? Well, that was unlucky how the ice cube grew over that yellow square, wasn't it? Although I have got a propeller with this TNT box or detonator, so that's something to be happy about, isn't it? But to stay positive in this day and age, after all. With how depression and fear eats at so many people. Being the nasty force that it is. It's truly a shocking state of affairs, the world as it is today, isn't it? Yes, it would appear I'm not going to do this again. But I was a whole lot closer that time, wasn't I? I think I'll do it now that I'm starting to get used to this level's overt shenanigans in regards to how it's played and whatnot. I'm getting wise to its game, you see. Of course, I think I've been making something of a mistake. I've been letting the ice cubes grow all over the screen too much as well. You see, I tend to play a somewhat risky style, don't I? And there's times like this when there's ice all over the place, even at the start, and can't really afford to let it grow very much, can you? This should be good though. It should get us somewhere, and it does. It disposes of all the ice cubes quite nicely indeed, doesn't it? I can win now. My times of failure are over. I was going to try and get route 2 Rubik's Cubes, but given the sheer amount of yellow boxes on screen, I'd say turning them into propellers would suffice myself, Sonny Jim. And it did. Oh, this is good. Not a great score though, but enough to get me to 3 stars. Makes me wonder how she got such a high score. Let's get on to 489 now, which I'm first on. Oh, this seems comparatively simple, doesn't it, with no ice cubes around? And we get a reasonable amount of moves as well, in the 30s. I think that might be more than what I got on the previous level, but I'm not quite sure. You can never be sure these days, can you? As Sting once said in WCW, the only thing that's for sure is nothing's for sure.
Yes!
Getting kinda hard to get the colours together, isn't it, with the sheer amount of stuff on screen at the moment. By the way, it's only 14 Celsius here in my bedroom right now. You know winter's coming if it hasn't arrived already, don't you?
Woo!
I'm getting close to doing this, I believe. Come on. Double Rubik's Cubes. Another nice story. Keeps me in first quite nicely and decisively indeed. Baby dolls. So that was 489 that I just did. So let's count to 490. What to do here? And here we have windmills again. I like to do these windmill levels, baby dolls. I find them satisfying. Again, not many possible moves available, is there? Finally get the red I need for this windmill. Not that it really accomplishes much for us at the moment. Not very generous colours, are they? It's like the level wants me to lose, isn't it? At least we've got rid of all the windmills, but there's a lot of carving to do with the pumpkins, isn't there? Looks like another loss. To be hoped I haven't lost too many lives already, isn't it? Still, this looks like a better arrangement of colours. So our hopes aren't lost yet, baby dolls. And that can often be the deciding factor in life, can't it? Hope. When we face our trials and tribulations. I know you were getting some good stuff. I'd say red TNT detonators on red squares would be for the best here, since there isn't many red squares on screen and whatnot. But I might as well trigger this propeller first, eh? Okay, although who knows, there might even be a possibility for a double Rubik's Cube here. And yes, there is. Just goes to show to never be too hasty, doesn't it? Unless, of course, your moves are running alarmingly low. In that case, then by all means, be hasty, ladies and gents. And yet again, double Rubik's Cubes. I'm really showing what I can do now, aren't I? After the bad luck I was having earlier. Yes. Look at that nice, magnificent, majestic score that I'm getting. Still in first. So that was 490 that I did. And I've only got 2 lives left now. Fortunately, we're close to getting another. Just dealing with my OCD. Okay. 491. Surely this must be more complicated than it initially seems, with there only being one windmill on it. Surely things can't be getting that easy so soon, eh? Getting a lot of rocket toys lately, aren't we? I was hoping this would be a vertical shooting propeller.
Yes!
And clearly so was the toy itself. Can't really seem to get anything better than propellers at the moment, can I? Still, removing that windmill removes quite a bothersome obstruction, doesn't it? Finally, some better stuff. This is gonna be close, isn't it?
Yippee!
But it's seeming like I should do it.
Yay!
And just by the skin of my teeth, baby dolls, I get 3 stars. Although I already had those 3 stars, but I still appreciate it regardless. So that was 491. Just dealing with my OCD. And again, Okay, so that was 491 that I did. So let's go on to 492. Oh, that's a mammoth score that I had originally on this level, isn't it? No wonder though, with how every square appears to be blue at the moment. Very small wonder indeed, I'd say, baby dolls. I remember this level now, with the insane amount of beach balls that need to be bursted on it. Fortunately, I'm able to get double T and double Rubik's Cubes already, which should be a help. And again. Seems like we're doing well, doesn't it? And I've already got an amazing score. Just like last time. Even better, in fact, way better. A lot better anyway. That was a fun level, wasn't it? I remember having some trouble on it the first time I did it. So that was 492, the fun level. We'll always remember that as. So let's go on to 493 now. Colours are changing on this level, it'd seem. And isn't this cute? 4 of the same toy here, all looking mischievous and very happy-go-lucky indeed. Like it won't really bother them whether I succeed in getting them to freedom or not. With how we've got 20 squares with blue lights to get, and the opportunity to get 4 of them here presents itself, I'd say it's probably wise to seize that opportunity myself, baby dolls. Might as well do it with this one as well, since there's another 4 here. And 3 here as well. I suppose 2 is something we can hold off for now, of course. Isn't really a huge number after all. Although we haven't got any toys to the bottom of the screen yet, have we? So, Suppose we might as well trigger the gas squirrels to turn into propellers. Another opportunity to get a sizable amount of blue light. Although I only need 2, so probably don't need to bother with that just yet. Do have to get a lot of toast slices from just 3 toasters though, don't I? So that could be something to worry about in the grand scheme of things, folks. I still think yellow squares look somewhat bigger than the other squares myself. Isn't there a cute yippee? Which the toys sometimes exclaim when things are going our way and they're well on their way to freedom. There's a lot of toast slices that I need, isn't it, for such a low amount of moves at the moment. Come on. And every now and then I appear to start falling behind with how I need 4 and 4 moves. So this is getting almost as tense as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, isn't it? But I win. Bit of a disappointing score, but that's not what matters right now. Just beginning to approach my old score. So that was 493. So let's get on to 494 now. Just dealing with my OCD. This looks like it could be at least somewhat more straightforward, doesn't it? It's good though how this game always manages to keep things fresh and interesting, I think. That kind of thing can often be crucial in regards to creating interesting video games, can't it? I thought it'd be best here if I used the big propeller, so that I'll be able to hit all these sweet jars at the bottom of the screen. Who knows, it could have been the wrong move, but it's a bit early to tell, isn't it, baby dolls? I didn't realise there's such a large amount of beach balls needed with only 4 cannons on screen available to hit. Makes me think that just maybe I should start focusing on them a bit more. So close to getting double Rubik's Cubes there. And yes, I'm gonna do it after all. Might as well get some beach balls on screen before triggering them though. Make a little bit of a dent in that amount of beach balls that we need. Because it is rather frighteningly high, isn't it? All things considered. And now, at least, we'll be able to hit 5 cannons at the same time. I hadn't noticed there were 6 of them on screen, you see. So yes, that's not quite as daunting as I originally thought, is it? Doing well, aren't we now? In fact, we don't need cannons to shoot any more beach balls on screen now. So there's something to reassure us a little bit. Nice score. So that was 494. Only one bubble, you know that's going to be hard to get, don't you? And to me, oh look where it is, right in the middle. Yeah, it's going to be hard indeed, with no boxes next to it. Still, we'll take that hurdle when we get to it. Cross that bridge when we come to it, you could say. Yes, and with this being level 495, the number 495 always makes me think of NHL hockey when the player Jeremy Roenick, who was always my favourite when I was a teenager, in the year 2007 it was thought his career was coming to an end because he wasn't playing very well anymore, nowhere near as well as he once did. In his youth, at his best, he'd been a 50-plus goal scorer for something like 2 or maybe 3 years during his best years. But by 2007, he was struggling just to. He couldn't even score 20 goals in a year anymore, and his point production was low as well. And after a poor season with the Phoenix Coyotes, I should probably wait until after that, after all those propellers, before I talk about him. But after a poor season with the Phoenix Coyotes, a team he'd done good things for in the past, it was thought he was going to have to retire, and that no more teams would want his services, like they were thinking he was past it. But as luck would have it, one of his old friends from his times when he played with for the Chicago Blackhawks, by the name of Doug Wilson, thought that maybe Jeremy still had something left in the tank, something left to offer a team that was a veritable Stanley Cup competitor. And this team ended up being the San Jose Sharks. And when he started with the San Jose Sharks, he had 495 goals in total scored throughout his career. At that point, some people thought that maybe Doug Wilson brought Jeremy onto the Sharks roster just to give him a chance to get his goals total over 500 before his career ended. But Doug Wilson thought that Jeremy could bring some much needed experience and grit and maybe even a bit of leadership to the team, since the Sharks they always did quite well and always reached the playoffs back then, but they could never quite win. They'd always fall short, typically as they got deep into the playoffs, and a lot of people thought that maybe it was because the team was too young in general and that they didn't really have any grit in them. So it was for a player like Jeremy, who'd been known as a highly physical grinder type player back in his youth, that he would have been able to bring some of that grit and toughness and a bit of leadership to the team as well. And it worked somewhat, I suppose, but they didn't win a cup while he was there, sadly. Jeremy never won a cup. Jeremy was never on a Stanley Cup winning team in his career, sadly. He came really close to winning a Stanley Cup during the prime of his career. I think it was in either 1991 or 1992 when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks, and with them he made it all the way to the finals of the Stanley Cup of the playoffs, but unfortunately the team that his Chicago Blackhawks faced in those playoffs was Mario Lemieux's Pittsburgh Penguins, and they were a team that were absolutely loaded with talented players. They had Mario Lemieux himself, who at his best, during his best year, I don't know if that was his best year or not, but during his best year, he managed 199 points, and that was the second most out of any player who's ever played in the NHL. Second only to Wayne Gretzky, who managed 215 points at his best. So yes, naturally, if you're going to get to the finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs, you aren't going to be wanting to be facing a team that has such a prolific scorer, are you? Although I suppose if you really want a challenge and if you want to be able to say you've beaten the best, then you would want that kind of thing. But if you just want to win a Stanley Cup, then no, it isn't really the best, is it? All depends on the mentality of the clubs, you could say, and the participants, doesn't it? And no, to this date, the San Jose Sharks still haven't won a Stanley Cup, I don't think. And the team's existed since 1991. It's a shame because I think it was in 2005 or so that the Sharks acquired a player called Joe Thornton from the Boston Bruins, and during that year he led the entire NHL in point production. And so it seemed that with the Sharks having Big Joe Thornton on their roster for so long, being the prolific scorer that he always was, it would have been inevitable that the Sharks would win a Stanley Cup with him at some point, wouldn't you? But no, he spent at least 10 or maybe 14 or so years with the team, and never managed to win a Stanley Cup with them. And now his beard, and now when he grows a beard, it's all grey, which shows just how old he's getting as his career gradually, slowly but surely draws to a close in the NHL. And he's left the Sharks now as well, so that's really sad when you think how they never managed to win the cup with such a promising player, and now he's gone. He was once even the captain of the team as well. So it seems like an awfully big blow for the Sharks. An awfully big blow for the Sharks to lose him, doesn't it? It's a shame, but I agree with the people on YouTube nowadays who think hockey isn't as good as it was in the 90s and 80s anyway, so I'm not really all that invested in it anymore. In my book, you just can't beat those days of gritty physical enforcers like the legendary Bob Probert. Running low on moves here, and I still need to get a lot of squares, of yellow squares with lights in them, don't I? It looks like that was a wise move after all, since now it's given me a cluster with 4 squares with lights of 4 yellow, of 4 squares with yellow lights in them. And now just the one that I need to get, and I've won. Very nice score, eh? So that was 496 that I did. This looks nice and simple, doesn't it? Rescuing toys from cages and then fighting through ice cubes to get them to the bottom of the screen, although I don't get very many moves, do I? That's something of a startling realization indeed, baby dolls. Suppose, never mind, I was gonna trigger the Rubik's Cube, but I don't need to do that after all now. I'm a risk taker, so I'll click these yellow squares on the chance that it'll bring in 2 reds, and I'll get double Rubik's Cubes. Oh, better than nothing, I suppose. And I'd say propellers would be better to turn the yellow squares into, given that turning them into TNT detonators won't have any effect on anything, pretty much. Maybe I should have gotten rid of all those TNT squares first, though. Since it could have gotten more yellow boxes on screen for me. See, it always pays not to be hasty, doesn't it? Well, occasionally anyway. And now we'll be able to dispose of all the ice cubes. Well, most of them anyway. Would have been all of them if my mouse hadn't have double clicked instead of single clicking then. But I suppose you can't have your own way all the time, baby dolls. Another nice win for me. Wonder if I'll get to level 500 in this video. So that was 497. Stealing the OCD. Okay, let's get on to 498, I think. I think this is what we're up to anyway. Now that's a lot of bowling pins. And as you can imagine, it pays to attack the top ones so that we can have more boxes falling on the screen in different parts of the screen. Since if we don't and we get rid of all the lower ones first, there's just going to be empty gaps underneath these top bowling pin boxes. And that wouldn't necessarily be in our best interests, baby dolls. And you've got to do what's in your best interests in life, haven't you? It's the smart thing to do after all. Who knows, maybe this propeller will... Actually... Maybe this propeller will shoot downward. Nice. You know, with how it'll be more satisfying to shoot 3 of the boxes rather than 2 of them with this propeller, I'll trigger it now. No. Okay, let's try this. So I was hoping for with those side propellers that they would shoot downward. Well, on my way to doing this one as well. Surely I must be running out of time now, don't I think? That was a lot of propellers. Okay, we've played for an hour, so I guess we should stop this video now, so catch you all later, baby dolls. See you when I see you.